Welcome once again to that show of shows that must see TV on YT, Pigskin, Facts, History, and News. I am your host of hosts, Fred. Thank you once again for joining Pigskin, Facts, History, and News. Those of you that are my normal watchers, thank you for watching once again. Continue to tell people, going to make big changes to the show. We're going to get better and better and improve. Those of you that are watching for the first time, thank you very much. Hit that subscribe button below. Tell others about it. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or comments, scroll to the bottom. Feel free. I'll respond to you. And hey, you guys, haven't been feeling that much love lately. So hit a thumbs up as you look at the bottom. Give me a thumbs up what you thought about the show. Appreciate it. What's up, Skins Nation? Gone through another week. Hope you've been safe. Hope you made it. And we got a good show for you today. All right. Once again, I'm your host, Fred. Here we go. Today's show, pretty much Pigskin Facts, History. No news to really report, but we have the draft coming up on Thursday, April 23rd. And there'll be a virtual draft party. And I'll tell you a little more about it later. And today's show, basically, we're going to also, later in the show, we're going to go over, I got my helmets out today, and I'm going to show you all the teams, the opponents, the Redskins opponents for the 2020 season. All the games right now are to be announced. There's no set times. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you my opinion of what I think the Redskins record will be. That ought to be fun. And I'll even give you a predicted score of each game that I came up with. We'll do that later in the show. And in just a little bit, we're going to, I brought together some of the best Redskins ever. And last time I told you that we're going to do a show based on who do you think the Redskins, the greatest Redskins players, who do you think's jersey should be retired? And I compiled my own list. And I gave some stats and some comments on the players, who they were, how they played. And we're going to do that in a little bit. So kudos to that. Okay, starting off with facts. I got a question, and I'm going to answer it very quickly today. I would consider this an old school question from what the answer is. So those of you that are old school fans, I consider myself old school. I'm saying old school, so generation ahead. You'll probably know the answer to this. And also feel free, when I ask questions or give the facts, feel free, you can scroll down and you can comment and you can write who you think it is. And I'll always give the answer. Usually I wait to the next segment, but today I'm going to go ahead and answer that pretty quickly. So here goes. What was the highest scoring game that the Washington Redskins were a part of? What was the highest scoring game that the Washington Redskins were a part of? And let me say it like this. What was the highest scoring game in Washington Redskins history? What was the highest scoring game in Washington Redskins history? I'll give that to you in about 20 seconds. Okay, I took out my helmets today. Got my Redskin helmet, Hell Skins. And these are all the opponents that they'll be playing for the 2020 season. The Cowboys, the Giants, of course, the Eagles, 2 games a year against those knuckleheads. Carolina Panthers, Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Cardinals, Rams, 49ers, and the Seahawks. So a little later, I'm going to give you my personal analysis of how I think the Washington Redskins season will go. And I'll give you even a sneak peek as to what I think the scores of the game, of how they fared against their opponents. And all right, answer the question. Fact. What was the highest scoring game in Washington Redskins history? And before I answer it, I'll give you a little hint to the old school fans that are probably thinking uh, the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Redskins in the Monday night game, 1983, 48-47, won by the Packers. No, it is not. You give up? You ready? Okay. The high scoring game in Washington Redskins history is when the Redskins defeated the New York Giants in a 1966 game that was in D.C., and the Redskins annihilated the New York Giants 72-41. That final score again, the Redskins defeated the New York Giants 72-41. So you know what I usually do when we win or when we beat an opponent. 72-41. Giants fans, this is for you. Okay. Pigskin facts, history, and news. There is no news to report, no recent news for the Redskins. However, the NFL draft is this coming Thursday, April 23rd. And the draft will not be in Las Vegas as planned, but there will be a Redskins virtual draft party. I got my VSP for it. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. I'll give you a tidbit of information a little later near the end of the show. And so right now, we're going to go into our history segment. And it's a special one today. I compiled a list of some of the greatest Redskin players that have ever played. And I said, who do you think jersey we should retire as Redskins? So, here it goes. Let's do the doggone thing. And let's get this party started. I don't have a picture for him, but excuse the visual. One of the greatest Redskins ever, Sean Taylor. Strong safety. One of the greatest safeties to ever play the game, Sean Taylor. Unfortunately, his career and his life was cut short. 2007, he was murdered. April 1st, 1983 to November 27th, 2007. And Sean Taylor was known as the Meast, half man, half beast, number 21. He went to Miami, University of Miami in college. He was drafted by the Redskins in 2004, played 4 seasons. And my friends, he was a great one. Sean Taylor. His career spanned 4 seasons. He went to 2 Pro Bowls. He was inducted into the Washington Redskins Ring of Fame. His career, he had 299 tackles, 2 sacks, 12 interceptions, 8 forced fumbles, and he played in 55 games. He was known as the Meast. Ladies and gentlemen, the great, once again, the late, great Sean Taylor. Okay. Next player up, number 33. Slinging Sammy Baugh. He was drafted in the first round, and he's probably considered one of the greatest Redskin players of all time. If you want to go like a top 3, he's probably ranked number 1 because he really was a great one. They called him Slinging Sammy Baugh, and he revolutionized the game of football with the forward pass. It was unknown at that time. A lot of teams were running the ball, and Sammy Baugh was excellent at passing the ball, and that's why he earned the nickname Slinging.
He went to Texas Christian University, TCU, in college. His career spanned from 1937 to 1952, 16 seasons, all with the Redskins. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1963. He was on the NFL's 1940s All-Decade team, an NFL 75th anniversary team. Career-wise, he passed for 22,085 yards, 1,709 completions out of 3,016 attempts for 187 touchdowns. He had a 56.7% completion for his career. And he also, one year, he led the NFL in passing, interceptions, and punting. No player has ever led the NFL in all three of those categories: passing, interceptions, and punting. He had a career punting average of 45.1, and as a safety, he picked off 31 passes. He has 31 interceptions to his credit, and he certainly was a great one. Slinging Sammy Baugh. Okay, keep it right there. So we get to our next player. And our next player would happen to be, let's see, number 49, Bobby Mitchell. Just bear with me just a moment. Bobby Mitchell. Here we go. Number 49, Bobby Mitchell. There he is. He just recently passed away at the age of 49. We did a little tribute to him a couple shows ago. And he was a big play threat that inflicted telling damage on opponents. He was a running back, wide receiver. He was number 49. He went to the University of Illinois in college. His NFL career spanned 11 seasons, 1958 to 1968. His Redskin years, 1962 to 1968, 6 seasons. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1983. He recently passed away at the age of 84. He was in the Redskins front office for over 30 years. And he broke the color line barrier for players, black players, in Redskins history, the year of 1961. One of the best at both positions, running back, wide receiver. His career stats, he has 7,954 yards receiving, 2,735 yards rushing, 2,690 yards on kickoff returns, another 699 yards on punt returns. He had 91 touchdowns for his career, and he was definitely a great one. Bobby Mitchell. Okay. Next, we have a really great one. Really great one. Just give me a minute. Excuse the visuals, y'all. I'm doing the best I can, so just bear with me. All right, here we go. There he is. Number 70, linebacker Sam Huff. He was definitely a great one. Sam Huff, linebacker, the Washington Redskins. You see there as he's wrapping up the ball carrier. And Sam Huff was a vicious hitter that glamorized the middle linebacker position, and he was considered one of the greatest middle linebackers of all time. And He was a really good one, and he was someone to be feared. Number 70, Sam Huff. He went to West Virginia College. His NFL career was 13 seasons, 1956 to 1969, and Redskin years 1964 to 1969. He played 5 years with the Redskins. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1982. And excuse me, y'all, the camera's moving. That actually makes it look like the player's moving, so forgive me. He was on the NFL's 1950s All-Decade team. He was mean, he was nasty, and man, could he lay a hit on a ball carrier, as they were scared of him. Sam Huff was one of the greatest, like I said, one of the greatest middle linebackers in the game. And he went to 5 Pro Bowls, and he had 30 career interceptions. And after his career, he teamed up with his good friend Sonny Jurgensen, and they became a Redskins broadcasting team for over 30 years. All right, Sam Huff. Okay, next one. Like I said, his partner, Sonny Jurgensen. He's quarterback of the Redskins. And he himself was a great one. Okay. Give me just a minute. We'll find Sonny Jurgensen. All right, getting close. Just bear with me. All right, here he is. Number 9, Sonny Jurgensen. You get it in view. Really like those Redskin helmets back then, they wore. Okay, Sonny Jurgensen. Number 9. Went to Duke in college. NFL career, 1957 to 1974. He played 18 seasons. Redskin years, 1964 to 1974, 11 years. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1983. He was on the NFL's 1960s All-Decade team. Sonny Jurgensen was an extraordinary passer who rewrote NFL record books. Sonny was a very accurate passer who picked apart defenses at will. He possessed lightning quick release with the ability to throw tight spirals with touch speed and accuracy. His career stats, 32,000 passing yards, 255 touchdown passes. That's phenomenal. He was 2,433 completions of 4,262 passes. He had a 57.1 completion percentage rate. And Sonny Jurgensen was one of the best to do it. Okay, let's see. Who do we have next? All right. Coming up. Oops. Bear with me for 1 minute. Sorry about that, folks. We're going to keep it going here. A little technical difficulty, but we'll fix it. Okay, let's see. Number 81, Art Monk. He is our next person. Just bear with me for a minute and we'll get it fixed. And let's see where he is. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Almost there. Let's see, page 168. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Here we go. There he is, number 81, Art Monk. Wide receiver, number 81, out of Syracuse. His career was 16 seasons. He was drafted a first rounder in 1980, played until 1995, finished his career with the Jets. Redskin years 1980 to 1993, played 14 seasons with the Redskins. He was on the NFL's 1980s All-Decade team. And Art Monk is one of the premier wide receivers in NFL history. In 16 seasons, he caught 940 passes for 12,721 yards, 13.5 average, 68 touchdowns. He once set an all-time NFL mark for most receptions in one season. It was 106 in 1984. That's been surpassed, long been surpassed, but back then that was a big deal. And most consecutive games with receptions, 183, both of which have been broken, and owns a slew of Redskin receiving records. He was a three-time Pro Bowler. He was a quiet leader, but he did most of the talking with his big play threat receiving ability. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Art Monk. Okay. Next one. Let's see. Cha-cha-cha-cha. All right. This one will be somebody familiar that you all know. And let's see. 264. Let's get him. Let's get him. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. Number 42. Redskins receiving great Charlie Taylor, who was also, at the end of his career, a coach, wide receivers coach on the Washington Redskins. Number 42, Charlie Taylor, rugged receiver, great open field runner who tormented defenses. He started as a running back, ended up as a wide receiver. He went to Arizona State in college. Here's another picture of him. Went to Arizona State in college. His NFL career, 1964 to 1977. 14 seasons with the Redskins, all years. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame 1984. He was on the NFL's 1960s All-Decade team. I like that picture right there. It's a really good picture of him. He was a running back for 2.5 seasons. The 6'3", 215-pound Taylor was a great open field runner who repeatedly converted short passes into long touchdown runs. He out-hustled. And he out-muscled opponents and posted an assortment of dazzling moves that left defenders in confusion. He was oftentimes unstoppable. He played his whole career, like I said, in Washington, one of the game's elite, 9,110 career receiving yards, 79 touchdown passes, 90 total touchdowns. He was a first, second team All-NFL honors 6 times, and he was selected to 8 Pro Bowls. Ladies and gentlemen, number 42, former Redskin great, Charlie Taylor. All right. I think we have two more to go. Two really, 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 really big, great ones. And let's get it. Okay. Almost there. Almost there. And here we go. Number 44. You all know him. You all love him as the Diesel, John Riggins. There he is right there. Number 44. And I watched him in a lot of games growing up. And I idolized the guy. He was awesome. He was really awesome. He was a bruising running back. He was a bruising and punishing running back, a.k.a. the Diesel. John Riggins, he went to Kansas in college. His NFL career was 14 seasons, 1971 to 1985. Redskin years, 1976 to 1985. He played 9 years for the Skins. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1992. He was on the NFL 1980s All-Decade team. And John Riggins was more than a football player. He was an entertainer who relished the spotlight. He was a pretty funny guy. He specialized in amusing off-the-cuff remarks such as his unforgettable line on returning to the Redskins after sitting out the 1980 season. He said, "I'm broke, I'm bored, I'm broke, and I'm back." He also made the bold proclamation, "Ron may be president, but I'm the king," after President Ronald Reagan called to congratulate the Redskins for winning Super Bowl 17, where Riggins earned MVP honors with a Super Bowl then record of 166 yards rushing. Riggins was all business on the field. The 6'2", 240-pounder was a rare combination of size, speed, and power. He proved to be one of the greatest running backs in league history, specializing in running between the tackles. He stood in the top 5 in all-time NFL rushing yards, 11,352 on 2,916 carries. He scored 104 touchdowns, and he retired in 1985. And that, my friends, was the Diesel. Here's another picture of him. He actually had an afro back in the day. John Riggins. Okay, we're going to stay right there for a moment. We got one more player to go. Last, and certainly not least, here he is. They call him Mr. Redskin. Redskin great number 28, Darryl Greene. There he is again. The 4-time NFL's fastest man, 7-time Pro Bowler, cornerback Darryl Greene. College, he went to Texas A&I. His NFL career spanned 20 seasons, 1983 to 2002. Redskin years, he played his entire career there, 20 years. He was on the NFL's 1990s All-Decade team. They called him Mr. Redskin. He played in more games and seasons than anyone else to ever wear the burgundy and gold who represented the organization with the utmost class. An iconic figure in Redskins history and lore. One of the most celebrated cornerbacks in league history. 7-time Pro Bowler who intercepted 54 career passes and ran back 6 of them for touchdowns, 6 pick sixes. He played in 295 games, started 258 all-time team highs. The 5'8", 170-pounder retired at the age of 42, avoiding career-threatening histories. I guess we need to call him blessed. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame last year, 2019. Give it up for Mr. Redskin, Darryl Greene. In this picture, he waves goodbye to the crowd at FedEx Field on his final day as a Redskin, December 29th, 2002. And that concludes that. And forgive my hand. Go right back and continue our show. All right, there we go. Back on track. Once again, I apologize for all the visuals and how they were conducted. Did the best I can do, so hopefully you liked it. Okay. Now, we are going to get to missing something. Here we go. The Redskins 2020 schedule. And so far, the games still are TBA to be announced. So there's no order of games. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the teams. This is not a chronological order of the season, but I'm just going to randomly pick out the teams they play. The Redskins will be taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And this should be a good game. Last year, they drafted quarterback Kyler Murray, and he had a pretty decent rookie season. So the Redskins play the Arizona Cardinals. They play at Arizona. So I'm going to do all the at games first and then all the home games. My prediction of this game, I believe that the Redskins will go and draft Chase Young, first round, second pick. And I believe that Chase Young will come in and make an impact immediately. And the Redskins defense will be far ferocious because they're going to go from a 3-4, which they played a lot of seasons in a row in the past. But defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio's come in, and he's setting up a 4-3, and it's going to be a simpler defense that the Redskins don't have to read and react. They just attack the quarterback. Defenders don't have to play off the ball and cover. They just attack. And I believe that the Redskins will win this game 17-10. They will go into Arizona, and I believe they will dominate on defense, and they will do just enough on offense to win the game. Okay. So the Redskins are going to win. Ha! Okay, next game, the Redskins will play at Cleveland. They'll play the Cleveland Browns. Of course, you know the Cleveland Browns, they have a lot of talent there. Quarterback Baker Mayfield is behind the controls.